So
Go to your
the sound, the voice is way too high.
go to your go to the YouTube now and start sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your YouTube.
1 2 1 2 1 2. YouTube, my tube, our tube. Which one? This one? I just moved this one, so just move it. Do you have a link? Yeah, just from our.
It's in the channel.
What channel? Which guys? Which one are you guys on?
Qatartainment.
Oh, I'm just in Qatartainment discussion group and host room. That's it.
No, but it's live. Or go to the homepage.
Mm. Oh, they just sent it. Thank you.
Okay, mic's working.
Mic's working.
Do we begin? Guys.
Yes, sir.
I'm just playing on my side. It finished? Everyone, hello. Nice to see you all again. Welcome to a new episode of Qatartainment, your favorite weekly episode in Qatar talking about geek stuff, games, anime, movies, and whatnot. Today I have two special co-hosts, as usual, your favorite. Welcome, Glenn Dower.
I'm a favorite now. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's really, really good.
So good to see you again.
Thank you, man. It's been a while, but I'm back. Great to be here.
All right, Sam, wanna say hello?
We're back, gentlemen.
We haven't seen you in 2 weeks or a week.
I've been
What have you been up
Marco
to?
Poloing around the world.
Ooh, where have you been to?
A gentleman doesn't kiss and tell.
Really?
Damn.
Okay.
I don't even want to know.
Even though he already told us where he went privately, but we're just gonna not say it publicly. But how was your trip, at least?
It was good. I enjoyed the weather much better than
Here,
yeah.
at least not 50 degrees Celsius.
At least not 50. I think
We have gone proper desert, haven't we?
we have before I traveled. I like literally one day before was the day that we entered 40 degrees
Mm.
centigrade. By the way,
Yeah.
territory. I think what the highest temperature I experienced in my whole trip was like 17, 18.
Wow.
So you went to Europe.
Yes.
At least we know where you went to. So-
It was good. A lot of umbrellas were involved, so
Fair enough, fair enough. But yeah,
for weather's sake,
welcome
no
guys
other
back.
usage of umbrellas.
That's okay. Welcome guys back. So glad to see you again. Yes, Sengoku's not here again. He's not here. I think he's coming
next week.
Next week. He
Yeah,
should
so
be
next
here
week's show he'll be
week.
back. Yeah.
So this will be the last set in Sam's place.
Oh
How do you
no,
feel,
what?
Sam, that we're not gonna do in your place anymore?
We'll be the same.
Do you want a political answer or you want a truth?
Which
Well,
answer
this
do you
guy
want to
behind
pick?
us. Let's go neither.
Which answer you want to pick? That's the question. But all right then. So as you guys can see the title, and it's today we're talking about AI. Again.
Just a point though before he starts. If you would like us not to be changing a lot of our sets, y'all can donate for us to get a permanent set, as in
Right.
support us.
A Patreon, yeah. And even just comments below. That'd be all awesome sauce.
Whichever you'd like, Patreon, we can send you our OnlyFans account. We can send our.
Maybe not OnlyFans.
I mean, hey,
OnlyFans.
Maybe
Yeah, one of those
we,
two.
we don't, Qatartainment does not have an OnlyFans account, but definitely we do not endorse
hey,
Sam's
yeah,
OnlyFans
yeah.
account.
It was not what it is
Uh-huh.
now at the
What do you
beginning.
What do you mean?
No, it's
I mean,
artistic.
I mean, like, yeah, it is an expression. Surprisingly, I have seen there is a guy who has a carpentry account on OnlyFans, which teaches people carpentry, legitimate carpentry.
Okay.
There is a person who does sceneries, like some, I think, kind of like a bird watching thing where they go and take picture of scenes. So it's not only used for questionable media. There are legitimate OnlyFans.
I love that questionable media. I love that. I love that.
But the thing that is actually questionable is AI right now.
In
2024. So this title suggests that, or we will discuss about how AI has been taking over so far. Qatartainment have made an episode about AI in the last year with Sengoku was there, but now he isn't here to give us a review or any of that. So it's gonna be us three gentlemen. We will discuss through video games, media, music, technology, our lives, and
University
what do we
students.
think it's gonna, like do in the future, or at least what's gonna do in 2024 till we review it 2025.
Well, I was just thinking today about this, and was it 2001 Space Odyssey that told us AI was bad, AI was evil with HAL? Then James Cameron picked up the baton and ran with it in Terminator. So now we are just thinking, our mindset is AI is evil, will destroy us all. Was it
Mhm.
because of the Terminator movie and Skynet that we now think AI is destined for evil?
I mean,
Is that the source?
haven't like things we've seen in Hollywood eventually come to pass?
That's also true, yeah.
Like you see movies in the 80s and like, no way the future is gonna be like this, and bam, they give you a future like that.
Yeah, like Demolition Man, one of my favorites.
Yeah, and plus, like, I can give you a real life example of it. When was the first? I think Star Wars, Star Trek was kind of the beginning of it, where they introduced the concept of a rail gun.
Of Star Trek, yeah. That's,
And we kind of have had it develop in the last 5 years, where it's like a kind of spaceship type of weaponry. Chimpanzees, Planet of the Apes, since we talked about it last time. They have done so many medical advancements with what chimps can do right now. So I mean, like there is merit to it,
Yeah.
to an extent.
But we've had artificial intelligence for a long time, not just this idea that we have now. I mean, I was just thinking, I was writing earlier, and of course the little red line, the spell checker, that's AI.
I was just
Yeah.
about to say
Yeah,
that.
that's-
Like, what would you consider dangerous artificial intelligence?
Exactly.
Because there is a lot of things at the very minimum of it in YouTube. You watch 5 videos and then it gives you recommendations. Like now it's way out of hand, but
Yeah, the
even
algorithm,
before,
yeah.
even before that, there was a trend to what eventually got learned about you.
AI was used for majority of video games, where the enemies, NPCs, the NPCs would be controlled by script or like a dialogue, but most of the enemies that you fight with, if you're playing a campaign, or if you're playing whichever anything that there's an enemy, there's all of them are AIs.
What do you mean?
So as if like they just give them a set parameters, set of program, and then they walk, and then they would just do the thing. So, for example, zombies. So zombies, they would be programmed to just keep running and then and chase the player until they die.
But here's the thing: you said that you made that point. Parameters. I think the what we would consider bad AI is one that doesn't necessarily have parameters and it kind of learns exponentially. Because there was one video or a documentary. I don't know which one you would consider that. Within like a few hours or minutes or something like that of surfing through the internet, it came to the conclusion that humans must die. I don't know if
It's Ultron as well.
yeah, I mean, like no, but this
In
one,
real life,
was
yeah.
it was a legitimate run thing. I think it was run by Microsoft, if memory serves me correctly. They had some sort of thing like that where it was running through the internet, basically learning what humans do, and eventually it came to the conclusion that humans must be eradicated. So I'm like, Skynet is a possibility.
Yeah. Maybe it comes that time when that piece of software does make a decision too.
Yes.
Yeah. Say, okay, humans want me to look after the situation. I must remove humans. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
what software is there that would make that decision? We don't want to get too political, but we want to
This
get
is a
entertainment based. But yeah.
This is a software if you allow it to behave this way. Because a lot of what current AI is used for is they just scrape the data and then you would give a command to do something or you would ask it something and then it would give you an answer based on the information they scraped. So for example, Midjourney. How did they program Midjourney? They essentially scraped copyright and royalty-free pictures and art that people did not consent to be used for AI training, and and then the AI would generate it. So, for example, you want to have like Iron Man in a Van Gogh art style.
Yeah.
So what they did, they would scrape all the artworks that Van Gogh has made, and then they would replicate it. See, this is like an example of an unethical use of AI.
Right.
AI, it's a good tool.
Like ChatGDP, for example.
Yes. So I mean, yeah, especially Glenn. Like, you're a teacher yourself, so you have definitely experienced some way or another your students are using ChatGPT.
Absolutely, yeah, for coursework, essays.
I've,
Handy research
I've
tool.
always had this question. Can you make out the difference though?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
you know how your students talk. If they don't write the way they talk, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell. If they come into work, they come into a lesson, don't have a pen with them, don't write the whole lesson, and then suddenly,
They have
or
a
quoting Shakespeare.
triple A grade essay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually fear for the work of tutors. No, because obviously ChatGPT will replace tutors. So
I mean, nowadays, from friends that I have in college, all of them are using ChatGPT to basically either catch up with lessons or like
well, that's fine.
simple down things.
Yeah. But when you submit work that's not your own, etc., plagiarism. That's when it
Yeah,
gets
speaking
muddy
of
waters.
ChatGPT, I have seen students in my school, in my university at least, where they would use at least 4 AI tools in order to avoid plagiarism.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you use AI to avoid AI.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
They
like you-
use like 3 to 4 AI tools to avoid being plagiarized as an AI. Like, it will reach to a point where like the at least the teacher or the reviewer would get confused because especially if you're consistently using AI in your work, it definitely leads to confusion and your writing style.
Yes, yeah. Every student has an individual writing style.
Yes.
Here's the thing, but AI can even like cope with that.
Mhm.
Because one of the best, okay, I would say the second best example of use of AI in media that I've seen is House of the Rising Sun. Very, very old song. But the original music video, if you notice, is a very like 80s, 90s kind of suits and the people, haircuts, all that. But the group who plays it is not the animals. The person who's singing it is Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have Frank Sinatra on drums. I think Paul McCartney is on what they call it on guitar, something like that. So it's like Hollywood faces on a song that was made 30 years ago, 40
Yeah.
years ago, and that was it was an interesting development in AI. Since you have that, you have a lot of other things
Yeah.
in videos and movies, scenes. A lot of it can be filled in with AI if
Yeah.
the rendering is strong enough. We had that thing with what there were a few movies where the like long minutes of the actual movie was generated with AI, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So you have
Uh,
the real life Disney movies like Lion King. Then you talk about Rogue One, Star Wars. They brought back Tarkin. He's completely AI generated.
okay.
Yeah. So should we just talk about the movies, Gakma? Should we jump straight into AI movies?
I really want to talk about last episode's predictions.
Oh, great. Okay.
So in 2023, where they talked about AI, they predicted some things that I think it would be interested to let you guys know. So last year they predicted that there will be AI tools that can copy, cartoon characters to mimic audio. So for example, you would make an AI cover song of, what is it called? Fly Me to the Moon, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Like SpongeBob can sing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And and here's the thing, it's like a crazy meme. Like it blew up so much, and these AI tools have improved so much that like they're at this point they sing better than any of us.
I saw one the other day with Donald Duck singing "Let It Go" in Frozen in that animation,
Even Toad from Mario.
and it was awesome. I loved it.
It's just crazy.
It is
you
crazy.
know?
You can't just
Like-
type in this to do this, and
Yes.
boom, you have it. And
Like-
it goes viral straight away.
You can even make it speak the way, the style of a character. You want it to say something.
Oh yeah.
Like,
the
it's-
icon. I was saying about the iconic Arnold Schwarzenegger way of speaking, and he's singing like an '80s classic rock song or like I don't know if you can consider the Animals rock, where they
Yeah,
like
they're rock. Yeah,
yeah.
they're rock. You're a rock pop. But yeah, but kids today, we see that. Oh, that was real.
yeah,
That was
and it was very well made. For a moment, like it took
Takes
being
your brain to go. "Wait,
yeah,
this
it
is what- wait a
didn't
minute, yeah."
register that
Yeah.
it was not him. Like, wait, that face doesn't work with that body. Like, what is? And then I realized it's AI generated.
So that'd be deep fake, right?
Yeah,
then
basically
the
with
voice,
the
yeah.
deep fakes and the voices and the pictures. But damn, they are getting very good, very good.
So that was predicted last year.
Yeah, and they were correct. Like not only there is one now, it's crazy good. It's like it's just wild. And the second thing they predicted is minor work can be done using AI instead of humans. In a sense, for example, like writing an email, organizing something, or doing a tiny task that generally would take minutes for a human to do, just can be done instantly with an AI.
Oh yeah.
And we have seen them being automating work,
Yeah.
automating, file categories, or for example, they can do it, as long as you program it right,
Yeah.
it's very easy to automate it. And okay, so I believe you mentioned something about the movie industry, correct?
Yeah.
And we can start. I have several points, but which one do you guys want to? Do you have any examples, usage?
Well, I just remember two things. One division, they were scanning background artists so they could then be used in future Marvel projects,
Interesting.
which inevitably was one of the things that led to the second point, the strike, of course, last year, the actors' strike. Okay.
Yes, this is why SAG-AFTRA
So
was.
that was, it was pretty much two-headed, wasn't it? The strike for actors. They didn't want to be replaced by AI versions of themselves, and second, they wanted a piece of streaming services. Uh,
It's
there.
always about the money.
Yeah, it's mostly about the money, but they also didn't want the whole AI to take over their careers, if you like. So that was a big thing that stuck with me. Also, today I saw a picture of Tony Stark as Iron Man in Secret Wars as an AI version. And of course, you can tell it's an AI version because it has that sort of buttery sheen to it.
Mm.
But I thought, well, they have rights to the character. They possibly have rights to RDJ's likeness. They could just plonk him into a movie, and would we as the audience care that it's not Robert Downey Jr. but is the character? Is that
I mean,
where
at
do we
some
draw the line on
point,
that? Because we want to see Iron Man back, but do we care that it's not Robert Downey Jr. but the character's there?
it goes back into, you know, how what CGI did to special effects when special effects was more physical and practical.
Yeah.
And we kind of had the same feeling about it, where especially in horror movies, it was like this is way too computer generated,
Yeah, it takes it.
and
away.
it takes away from the experience.
This reminds me of, you know, how the diet industry, where where you would like a burger, but they just give you, you know, like the most stale burger, and they tell you it's the same burger, but it's not the same as when
Beyond
you.
Meat, we are referring to you.
No, and we're not talking about vegans. We're talking just generally about the experience. It's the experience of, for example, Robert Downey Jr. being in a Marvel movie,
Yeah.
seeing him on the screen, him speaking, him behaving the way he is behaving, rather than having to use a clone. It just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Like like they can
As we
use
call
as
AI
many AI
clones, I
tools
like
as
that,
they want,
clones,
but it's
yeah.
just not the same.
But here's the thing, as also Rain Man, kind of son of Rain, pointed out. How do you define artificial intelligence? Because if you have a scan of something, let's say parameters, for example, you said the computer can perform a task. That's a program that can perform a task. Whereas when they say artificial intelligence, does it have? Okay, here's a question. What is true artificial intelligence? A computer that is sentient, to be able to make decisions, to be able to think, or do off the cuff things, or whatever? Or is it just a program that has a boundary in which it can roam freely?
Well, the definition of intelligence is problem solving. So, what is the problem to be solved? Is it to
Similar to humans.
Yeah.
That's what
your high
humans
intelligence?
do.
You solve a problem.
They
You celebrate a
encounter
problem.
something and
yeah.
they solve it, and then they scrape data just as much as artificial intelligence. We perform the same. It's just artificial intelligence does it infinitely faster.
Yeah.
Faster than what can a human can do. So that's the difference between AI and human being. And true artificial intelligence is when they reach to the point where, you know, they can think, speak, behave on their own way without expecting a human input.
Yeah, because we as humans, we're inquisitive. We will
because-
search out problems
yeah,
to solve.
because
Whereas the
right now-
computers get
yeah.
solve that problem. Okay, done. What's next, please?
We would create problems
We
to
create
solve
problems
as
to solve. Yeah. Whereas the computer, shall we
Yeah.
say, will just be given a problem, but that problem won't evolve.
Yeah, like I can understand the Son of Rain's comment, but humans also use algorithm. Like at least they behave similar to an algorithm, where they, with enough repetition, they can perform either perfectly or well enough. Similar to an AI. Like for now, you know, these generative AI machines, where now they're using, they're relying on data to scrape, understand, develop, and continuously work on. So,
Mm.
like, yeah, sort of similar to that point. So I have some examples in regards to the movie industry.
Yes, go.
Here's a recent one. It's Mad Max Furiosa. They used AI to make Anya Taylor-Joy younger.
No, I've seen this movie, and you told me this pre-recording. I'm trying to think back when did she need to be AI'd? Because a younger version of her character, Furiosa, as in she's a child, like, oh, she does look like young Anya Taylor Joy. No, that really got my gears grinding. Was that a young actress, or was that an AI young Anya Taylor Joy? And that drove me insane.
Mm.
Or was it just the point where, because there's lots of time jumps in this movie, it's like 3 years, 5 years, whatever. Why did you need to de-age her at all? Because Anya Taylor Joy is in her 20s.
Yeah.
So it just made me go, oh, please say it's not that child who was created with Anya Taylor Joy's features. I think that's going too far.
But like, isn't this the makeup artist's job?
Yeah.
Is to
Kinda.
make them
It's-
younger?
It's also adds to I want to say depth of the movie, but rather it is in a sort of way depth. Because think about it. If you have Marlon Brando, who is a 60, 70-year-old version of The Godfather, and then you have De Niro, a young De Niro, playing him as a 30-year-old, 20-year-old, it works.
Yeah, worked really well.
It rather very well. Okay, it was a kind of like the best example to use where it works, but it works. There is a person's likeness where if that person is 30, you can. I'm sure, like out of 100 children, you could find one
Yeah.
child that at
Come
least
on, yeah.
you would question that. Okay, he can be the father of this child or like something like that. But and at some point it becomes fake. Even us, if we look at our childhood photos and our older
Good point,
photos,
yeah.
we don't necessarily look the same. The growth sprout, what life does to you, I guess, your experiences in life kind of change you drastically. So when we say making somebody younger using AI, they would just make that feature or that face into a younger person, not take away. I don't know. You lost your dog at 22, kind of the like the trauma carrying of like bring a person a picture of his like teenage years, throw him in jail for 20 years, and then bring him out, and he looks nothing like the person who was there like at the age of 12.
Yeah, I would look at photos of my old self. I still look the same.
Oh.
The same facial features. But yeah, like I agree with you. Like, especially like with it's really hard. Like, and it's also sometimes it's just unnecessary
Yeah.
to use AI tools for something like this. Like these things can be easily done with makeup,
Yeah, and just
or at least like with good
casting.
art, with good skills
Mhm.
and with good casting. You wouldn't need to rely on AI tools and and even extensive makeup to justify making this person younger than they should be or older than they should be. And another example I can point out
I was
is
going to say that brings us to the second point you raised. Yeah.
yes, Jennifer Lopez's facial features on the new movie, on one of the new movie Atlas, a new Netflix movie.
Interesting.
They heavily used AI to remove her blemishes and her wrinkles
So is that, you think that's
because she's
her-
like over 50 years old.
Yeah, she's still beautiful.
Yes.
But, okay,
So is that part
what's
of
the
her
age
deal
of the
with-
character that she's playing if she's over 50?
Something 34. Like,
I mean,
So that was part of her contract, maybe, her
Yeah.
own vanity.
yeah, I would say so because like
no, like it's a bit.
Tom Cruise looks 30 at the age of 60
That's
something.
what Scientology does
But I don't think a lot of actors look that off compared to the parts they play.
No.
Think about like those actors who are in their 20s and they play like high school students.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
They
like
look
Netflix
like high
movies.
school students. You wouldn't question if this person is in high school. This is something actually really interesting I noticed on my travels this time. I was going off to a park and we passed by a school trip. What I would presume was a high school trip. And there were moments where I used to see the people walking and I was like, is this a student or a faculty member? and there was a few of them in like that group, and my friends that were with me were like, no, they're all students. Only like these two are faculty members. And I was like, either they've like dropped a lot of few classes where they look like in their 20s and they're in high school, or generally like that age, it has become like that, where life is not, oh, he looks 10, he looks 20, he looks 30 anymore. Like at the beginning of your 20s until your 30s, maybe mid 30s, you look just
Yeah,
one
you
thing.
freeze a bit.
Yeah. So there is a merger.
Also, like we should like point out that most of these students who would definitely look older than they are mostly just genes, you know. But in general, they're mostly the same, you know, like especially with students that you were mentioning. But yeah, I think definitely genes right now they're playing a big part in which some of them looks way older than they think, than they look, or way younger than they should be.
It's the GMOs, man.
Yeah,
It's the GMOs.
we're getting crazy. But an unethical approach that recently been popping up in cinema that has now been featured is a deep fake biopic of Russia's president Vladimir Putin.
Oof.
It's been
famous
released
for
in
that.
Cannes Film Festival and it's getting a lot of success.
Really?
What do you guys think? And also, it's not even directed by a Russian director. It's directed by a Polish director.
Ooh, I love that combination.
So it's
That's not
deepfake.
biased at all.
They heavily they had to use AI to rely on it.
So it looks like a documentary then, as opposed
It's
to
a biopic.
Okay, so it's biopic.
Yeah, like not
But it is-
documentary, but you
so,
know.
Okay, so we need to check it out. So, presuming it's his features based on an actor's body.
Sorry.
So we can presume it's his features based on an actor's body.
Yes.
Directed. Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, that's dangerous, man.
Yeah.
Okay with leaders who have passed, but not current leaders who have proven to be
Is
on the
it
aggressive
though-
side.
Leaders who can
Though
actually, you
if
know.
people have passed, because you're kind of immortalizing a person in a way in media.
Depends what
Um,
view the biopic's taking, though, because the biopic can shed light or the dark.
But it also plays into that person being available for more pictures and screens. Think about the actors and actresses that have passed away. It brings back their movies into light.
Yeah.
It gives a kind of different meaning to the movies that they've played in. You have all of that, but if that character is on demand with a click of a button,
Yeah.
kind of takes away that novelty. Uh,
What do you think?
was it Sean Connery that when he passed away,
Yeah.
the whole like 007 came back up, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and like
Yeah, be able to
all-
rewatch the movies on Amazon. Yeah.
yeah, and it kind of brings that person back to life.
Yeah.
But if he's in an archive somewhere, it doesn't give that novelty to all what you could say like the great pieces of media that he's created. Artists are worth more dead than alive.
Mm.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, like even similar same with like even currently alive actors who are now retired from acting. Like it's unfair to use their identity
Yeah.
or their likeness even though they consent. It just ruins a film. That's not what film is about. Like film has always been the kind to advance, embrace new things, explore, move on. That's how it has been for more than 100 years. Like, sure, you want money. Everyone wants money. Films require money and millions of dollars of budgets. But it's not fair to use unethical methods, misleading methods to get money. That just does not work.
Well, we have Bruce Willis, for example. He signed his likeness and everything over to the film studios because he knew he was going to get ill,
Mm.
and he's okay to be, like we said, AI clone.
And that's his
Yeah.
preferences.
So that's
That's
the ethical
okay.
side, right? You say.
Yeah, like it's his preferences. If
Yeah.
he's okay with it, he's fine. Oh, that's fine, you know. But like it
It,
also needs to reach to a point where it's like there has to be regulations.
Yeah.
Because right now AI is heavily irregulated. Similar
Because it's so new
with
and
similar with
yeah.
blockchain technology, NFTs, digital currencies. These things are still heavily irregulated, and we definitely. I think we could expect some form of regulations
Is it because
from
we're running to catch up? That's got because those predictions that were made last year by the guys have already exceeded those.
like
And we
oh,
still,
humans can't catch up.
yeah, we can't because we've let it go.
we can
I got
catch
you
up.
excited too quickly. It's like the Jeff Goldblum called Jurassic Park.
I think yeah, we're
Oh,
just
Yeah. Yeah.
like we're just too busy doing other things right now that I think AI is
It's
like
not
the
that
least of
as much
concern.
as it's the fact that um, you can make a lot of money by having things not be regulated.
Yeah, okay.
So even if regulation was to happen at a similar pace or at a correct pace, the powers to be, it's not in the interest of the powers to be for things to be regulated. Like
No.
think about what is the biggest franchise that we can say? Marvel in terms of income?
Right now, yes, say Marvel. Yeah.
Marvel.
Mhm.
Imagine the people. Nobody does business like a person like Marvel where they're okay with a 20% profit. Like, it's about the hundreds of percents of profit. And it's having something not be regulated, not entirely, but rather not be regulated properly, it creates a loopholes for you to make a lot of money. Think about like everybody knows about Hollywood financial economics, yet nothing has been done to either counter it or make it better. Loopholes still exist. Why? Because a lot of people are making money. Right? Did the writers' strike get them what they wanted? Not
Not
necessarily.
necessarily, but
But
a third of what they wanted altogether. Yeah.
I would say a little bit breadcrumbs, like
Sure.
an appetizer, so only they could not have a main course type of thing. And it's just gonna get out of hand. Wasn't that we guys were supposed to like say with the whole Scarlett Johansson thing, where they took her voice for AI, I believe.
Yes, I did want to talk about it
Yeah.
after the movie industry. Um, Essentially, OpenAI commissioned Scarlett Johansson to be the voice of the new AI feature, where in OpenAI's ChatGPT, where you can essentially speak to it directly, like Siri. You know how Siri, like, "Hey Siri,
Oh yeah.
this." Like it's the same thing, where you could just click and then you can speak with them. You can have dialogue. You know, like you can even develop a parasocial relationship. It's literally like the movie Her.
Which of course she was in.
Yes, is and yeah, they picked Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson refused,
Really? I'm
and
surprised she refused.
yes, and weeks later they released the AI with a voice that is very similar to Scarlett Johansson. And I believe now they ceased operation for this one, for the AI, because they're like, there's like a plausible for sue and defamation or copyright, like for using things unconsensually. Like that's the problem. It's not even about the AI, it's the person who's using the AI.
Yeah.
Like, oh, ChatGPT, like, look what, like, they're taking people's voices unconsensually. They're scraping data that is unconsensually requested, and
Is it though? How many terms and agreements have we agreed to
Or that just
that
tick,
yeah
tick, tick,
accept
yeah.
that we have no idea what's written in there?
but eventually we will know.
Oh yeah, after like
Yeah,
shit
like
comes to worse.
eventually we will know,
Mm.
and we will call them out, and then we would improve in the future to opt out of anything. You should give the choice for your consumers to opt out of these terms of conditions, even if we agree. because you can't expect me to just pay for your services and then blindly agree to your terms of services and then just expect me to like move on when I've already paid money.
But here's the thing: if you don't press accept, you cannot use the application. Let's say for the minimum thing.
Then that we're just not gonna use it. You know, people are just not gonna use it. And how is it called? Like yeah, like people are just not gonna use it. And but yeah, like
We could make that a prediction, couldn't we, for next year?
uh,
About consensual use of our data, our likenesses, our voices, because I just remember just using my bank online and they say this conversation may be recorded. I think, whoa, record my voice. That makes me a bit edgy now because you always hear the stories about how AI calls people's parents and say, "Hi mom, I really need some money. Can you put it into my account? Here's the account number." They go, "Of course, dear." Things
yeah.
like that. So I think,
And there's even scenarios where they would use the like for example the daughter's likeness or the children's voice to mimic the situation that they've been kidnapped.
yes, yeah, that,
And
yeah,
it
yeah.
actually happened, and they actually took money from the victims,
Yeah.
even though the
No, at this point
the
it happens. Think about how many times you've called a service and they say we are going to record this conversation for quality
Well,
insurance.
for quality assurance.
Insurances
Yeah.
purposes. How many, like even like talking about the ban? I'm sure somewhere, I mean, your voice exists. There's out there.
Somewhere. Yeah.
You've called at least in like the however many years you've been using the ban. You have called them once.
or
right?
any customer service
Any
call
customer
center.
service, yeah.
Your voice have been recorded for 911. If you're calling 999,
Yeah.
the police ambulance services, they're all recorded for these are all recorded as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I have an opinion. There's a statement from Netflix co-CEO
Mm-hmm.
said AI won't take people's job.
Won't take people's jobs. I
Won't take people's job. What do you think, Sam?
Specific with jobs.
I think they just he generalized.
Okay. So cleaners are safe.
I think janitors have the safest
Yeah, there you go.
job out of like the whole. If you think about the whole.
And engineers, we have the safest jobs.
I would argue engineers might not.
It'll take a very long time till they catch up.
Possibly, because part of engineering is imagination.
Yep.
So it's basically manifesting what goes on in your imagination in that regard. But like think about designing a car if you are using like you want to reach peak wind tunnel performance. AI can do that. If you want to design something like a part of something for aeronautics, not AI can do that. It can run numbers. It can run, but a lot of jobs I believe have been taken. I apparently cannot go to a McDonald's and order with through a person anymore. I have to go
Yes,
to
you
a
can.
machine
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Oh, yes, you can.
very limited branches perhaps, but generally like the three branches around my house, three of them already have removed basically a cashier person where you can walk up to them and order.
Yeah. So you only pay the cashier.
Yeah, so
Otherwise,
that's
that guy's
like,
gonna be putting the money in.
and the peculiar thing is, you go to the machine, to the screen, you put in your order, and then you say pay by the counter.
Yeah.
Like, what is this redundancy? I think it is like a stepping stone for them to push you to the side of like computers and AI and everything. But oh, definitely, it is going to take up like a lot of people's work.
In defense of McDonald's fast food touchscreen service, ever since they've put that, my order have been, for example, if you go to a fast food a restaurant that offers the screen, the fast food orders have been more accurate. Since before, you would rely on verbally like saying your order and then hoping they would register it on your invoice. Whereas on the screen, you precisely put how much you want, how less you want, and will be shown on the receipt. So in case any mistakes they would do, you can just hand in the receipt and it will show.
Oh yeah.
Comparing to
Yeah.
telling the person what do you want and
Yeah.
then hoping like you would have to depend on that
The comprehension of
yes.
that person. But also a lot. And one other thing that I've noticed is you don't order extra things because you're just punching in your own order,
Yeah.
and there's not
There's
a
pressure.
person telling you, "Oh, would you like a piece of this as well?" Or
There's no upsell.
there is no upsale. But dude, all of it started from COVID years, man. In COVID years, everything became digital. Like, people are surprised that I still carry cash around and I pay things for cash. But the way that the world is going with the credit cards and the whole phone thing, like everything is gonna become AI, man. The only person that I think is not gonna be like janitors and
Maybe teachers. We never know.
no, not teachers, not anytime soon. But I want to go back to Marvel and AI.
Really?
One of the recent controversies that Marvel has experienced is using generative art, in the show Secret Invasion. When they noticed in the opening of the show, there were elements of AI art,
Yeah. I remember.
and they immediately called them out for it.
Yeah. 10 seconds in.
And it really led to the show lose its ratings.
I
like-
think so.
Genuinely, people stopped watching it because after the whole AI image thing.
It wasn't because it was a bad show.
No, it's not even because of a bad show. It's just
That's a better
Marvel
choice.
is the biggest studio when it comes to art. For VFX, digital art, 2D art, 3D art. Every art we can think of, they do it, and they've done it. Like, they're a whole comic book studio.
Yeah.
So,
Built on,
why
like-
are you using AI art when you can, just pay one person to do it in their free time, like 1 hour, 2 hour?
Yeah.
Like,
I was-
especially the AI art that they found, which, like, something that can be done in a sketch.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't even stand out. It was very gloopy. It was like green swirls, wasn't it? Around.
No, it's like some bone thing
Yeah.
that it had, like, extra fingers, extra limbs.
Yeah.
And it wasn't correct, like wasn't even drawn correctly, and so like things like this really, it's justifiable as to why consumers hate this.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like, if you want to change it, if you want to overhaul it in a way that it works. Don't overhaul it in a way that you're taking people who are barely earning anything. Like, chances are that people who work there, like, either minimum wage jobs
Yeah.
or barely affording rent, and then you're just removing that from them. Like, at least let AI assist them.
If they need it. Yeah.
Yes. So, an example in my job, a lot of people who I work with, they're using AI for writing emails and understanding stuff or regulations or the way they can work, because they're either inexperienced or their second language, which is English, is not that great.
That's supportive. That's fine.
Yeah. So, like,
I love the way they use that for emails. Like, they write. I have had many friends. Like, they write the most offensive thing they want to say to their boss, and give it to ChatGPT, and like give me a professional
Clean it up.
work environment email
Yeah.
where it's
Environment
filled.
email.
Yeah, where it's filled with like backhanded compliments and such like low jabs but it sometimes does work. Like, you can use it for positive things where it is an assistance. But one thing that this is something I have noticed as a consumer of games and movies sometimes. especially with CGI, very advanced CGI, I would say. And recently, with like a lot of examples that you guys said, I did not know there was AI usage in those movies. But it feels like there is no soul. A lot of previous games when I used to play, the game had soul in it. But now a lot of them don't. Some movies, it doesn't feel like, even though they are trying to depict a scene where emotion is involved, it doesn't feel like that's emotional, or those emotions are genuine, or it's, I don't know how to like put it into words, but the feeling you get from the media is completely different when something has been done with AI.
Yeah.
And also, like, even though the the thing that you're experiencing and you're talking about, even though it's still in its beginning, but I think this is just as a result of studios, video game studios, music record labels, and movie and Hollywood changing from creating unique, original, even like just fun ideas to making profit.
Is original too expensive? Is that what we're saying
Yes.
now?
Like, there's a lot of movies that no, even like original or unoriginal movies that are not even that expensive, from Winnie the Pooh the horror movie doing absolutely massive, the Garfield movie actually being successful, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Parasite. Those movies, chances are they're derivative of a work, but because they've done in a unique way and they've done creatively, it's successful.
Yeah. Creatively.
As
there we
long as
go.
you make it, as long as you make it, unique and in a creative way and something that is good, it will work. And in terms of video games,
Because I'm interested, because we said before, I'm not a gamer at all, so I'm interested to know where AI
so
comes
yeah,
in with
like
gaming.
even though right now video game models have been losing its soul due to live services, microtransactions, free to play cash grab games, now a lot of executives in the industry are considering to lay off so many staff due to AI, and I have several, and two of the most infamous, three actually, infamous studios are Square Enix, Ubisoft, and Naughty Dog. So Square Enix is already using generative AI imaging through the game called Foam Stars, which is essentially a derivative of the game Splatoon made by Nintendo. And because they copied so much of that game, it essentially just went to ruin, and it became irrelevant. There is no characters, no uniqueness. Like, they just look like stock models from their game engine, and they just slap some outfits and foam, and then that's it.
Yeah, and you could Ubisoft. Well, the most infamous of them all is Ubisoft. They're like the
They believe that 50% of their employees can be replaced by AI.
oh, that is not the worst of their beliefs. Ubisoft.
No, they have even worse methods. I agree with you,
Um,
but
So where are they based? Ubisoft?
France,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
even though they have like one of the best unionized regulations,
it is registered in France. It's not.
but based in
If I'm not mistaken, they're American. Like a lot of big chunk of their work gets done in
I think they're a
America.
French company.
They are a French company.
Yeah, so
But it's the case of like having a parent company here, having your workers there,
Okay.
type of thing.
I guess so. Yeah.
But in terms of the game, for example, if we were to talk about Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed was one of the, I would say, biggest game franchises at one point in time. Where
Thanks to Black Flag.
yes, it was among one of their best games, Black Flag, when it came out.
Yep, I agree.
And think about the quality of what the games have become. The first one was amazing because a lot of the developers and everything had hands on. Up until like the fifth or sixth installment, I would say, within the series, it was still going very well because there was a lot of hands-on involvement in the making of games. From, for example, when the person comes into the office and he's designing something, he's in a certain mood that day, and something comes to his mind and he designs it. But later on in the series, it's, don't get me wrong, the games might be amazing, but they're bland. They don't have that, like, oh, this, like, somebody has put a lot of time onto this game, a very big, great example of it is Prince of Persia. Again, Ubisoft. The first ones on PlayStation 2 back in like the early 2000s, they were masterpieces.
Prince of Shadows, something
Prince
like
of
that.
Persia, the Two Thrones.
The one that released on GameCube.
No, the ones that were released on PlayStation. There was 3 games of Prince of Persia that released on PlayStation. And
Exclusively?
if I'm not mistaken, yes.
Yeah, because there was at one point where one of the installments were released on GameCube.
Oh, I don't.
But
I
I'm
don't
not
know
sure
if
which.
it's,
I forgot the name exactly, but it's something Shadows.
I don't know much. I didn't necessarily follow it after they kind of butchered it, but lately, I think it was this year where they released another Prince of Persia, and the flavor was gone. It's like so you do, especially in games, you do feel like, does this game have a lot of soul, or is it just like computer generative thing? So I think it's just gonna get worse and worse. Imagine if you are able to replace one engineer or a graphic designer or something, that's $150,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, like at this point, you would only have to pay for electricity bills.
Kind of,
Yeah.
because think
Because
about
yeah,
it.
because it's all.
If you have a game that has 30 developers and you drop 20, that's $3 million a year.
Oof, that's scary numbers.
Yeah, like it's heavily concerning seeing like how studios are just willing to drop and remove this many of their staff, just to save money and to make even way more money they than just ever conceived. It's definitely concerning. And one of the biggest empathizers and supporters of AI as of now is the CEO of Naughty Dog. They developed The Last of Us. I'm not sure if you've seen The Last of Us show.
I did the show for sure. I never played the game, of
Yeah,
course, but the show I
but
loved.
yeah, the CEO is. Although they said that it will revolutionize, like quote unquote, revolutionize the mainstream gaming, that is just another way to say that we're just gonna remove our staff and make more money and less costs.
Yeah.
Like it's just another method of doing that. Um, I think we talked about Ubisoft and Square Enix, but surprisingly, the biggest anti-AI as of right now is Steam. Steam does not allow any games that include generative imaging.
Because
Wow.
that's run by Gaben.
Gabe Newell.
It's like
There you go.
Yeah, and he is a gamer at heart. Wait, something might happen to him. I mean, like, I hope he's like healthy and well. But
He is
everybody
healthy and
has-
well. I think he's working
everybody
on.
has like finite time. Eventually, he will have to step down, and whoever comes in his place, like, all hell will break loose.
Funny speaking, he's actually not working on Steam right now. He is now working on marine biology company with some scientists and working with them. So he is not actually in control of Steam right now.
Really?
Yes, but
Who's running it now?
I don't know who. I mean, probably like a vice president or something like that. But Steam right now, like they're having good morals, they got good ethics, they're working great. They just continue to be a better platform for gamers than any other publisher company in the entire video game industry.
Okay, so there
And yeah, I'm
give
happy for
hope.
them to be, anti AI and for now and doing great job at that. But yeah, speaking of video games, I think that's pretty much all I've observed with AI's usage in the industry. There's more, but that's all I could.
There's a dark and light side there for sure.
Yes, yes, and I definitely see something about like AI. I think now we're gonna start to see.
Here's the thing. So, Steam is owned by Valve, basically.
Yeah.
And even though he is still the president,
Yes, yes, he is still.
and he is a majority owner as well. So he has the strength and the palm of his hands, even though he's not running it. They have a different, they have a COO, not a CEO.
Yeah, Chief Operating Officer.
Yes. So it kind of is like, even though he's not involved, but he is still kind of running the show where like you are able to do this or you're not able to do it.
Yeah, like the roots of the company has been set thanks to Gabe Newell.
Yeah.
And like yeah, he's doing like that's thanks to him for continuously to provide gamers and support gamers and support developers, provide tools for developers, modders, and all of that. Like they continue to do that, and I hope that even when he stepped down or fortunately dies,
How old is this guy?
oh,
You're talking like he's on deathbed.
70, 60.
Okay, alright.
So
So
yeah,
not,
he's in the retirement age
not
range.
much
Oh, he's
type.
61.
Yeah, he's in the retirement age range right now.
Well, Sam
So-
says he's retirement age. So.
Yep, yep, yep.
That's
yeah.
a very big range of age.
But yeah, I really wish the best for Gabe. Wish.
All the best.
I'm very concerned for the video game
Didn't
industry.
give us Half-Life 3, man.
Actually, speaking of that, no, they're not making Half-Life 3. I'm so sorry to say that, but they are developing a new game. It got
We were
leaked.
promised Half-Life 3 20 years ago.
No, he did not. Unless you want to count Half-Life Alex.
No, it doesn't count, man.
Alright, whatever.
It's one
But
of those.
do you guys want to know what's worse than the movie and the video game industry? The music industry.
Oh, dark territory.
I love it though.
There's so much going on.
I
Go on,
love it.
Gagman.
Bro, the
Dude,
drama with
having-
AI and the music industry is wild. Like they're having the worst time right now. Whereas people would just upload AI generated music, upload it to streaming services, getting millions and millions of listeners, and people would listen, and then it would either get deleted or they would just stay there, even though they can like even use voices of different artists
Yeah.
that they did not consent to use, and yeah.
There is a version where Donald Duck sings Thunderstruck.
Awesome.
It
Donald Duck's my
is,
OG.
yes. And it fits so well. Out of like all the people that could have sung Thunderstruck, it felt so well. It's like it's a Brian Johnson like 2.0 type of voice, and as dark as it is, sometimes I do support what is possible to do with AI. But I do agree with you. Like a lot of people that do take extreme advantage of what can be done in regards, especially in regards to copyrights. I mean, didn't Prince had that thing where he referred to himself as the artist rather than Prince
Yeah.
because of copyrights, and that was just a name or just a face.
Oh, really?
At what point
Ah.
is your vocal frequency gonna be patented or like given rights to? 'Cause
Yeah,
if you
like-
think about it, like what is what is sound? Sound is just like a vocal frequency,
Yeah.
sound wave.
It's your eardrums. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I say I mix certain sound waves, certain frequencies, and it happens to be the same as your voice, am I really breaking any laws, or I'm
Just a
just
coincidence.
it's just eerily coincidental.
Yeah.
So
It's, you can't. I would say you can't stop it though.
I'm not saying we're gonna stop it because AI has been here for a long time and
Oh,
it
yeah.
didn't stop and it won't stop. But it's more of just setting human ethics and morals because that's what makes it better used. So, have you seen Black Mirror,
Yeah.
Glenn?
Yeah. Yeah.
The episode where Miley Cyrus would get to a car accident and then get, clinically injured and then they use her voice to make music.
Yeah.
So, it's things like this that we just don't wish for it to happen. So it can either so like now artists are on the risk of either being copied by people around the world and then they make music using their voice,
Mm-hmm.
like Vocaloid, like Hatsune Miku. Do you guys know any of those? So essentially, that is way before AI, I think, right now. So back in early 2000s, there's a software called Vocaloid. And Vocaloid is a software that you can write out words and then the robot would sing. And one of the most famous Vocaloid artists is Hatsune Miku. And Hatsune Miku have been used to make covers and of music. So, and it reached to the point where Hatsune Miku is now a massive celebrity, where they're now headlining and performing in the biggest music festivals in the world, like Coachella, and touring around America and Europe.
So there's an actual person, or it's just
It's
defined on
it's
the
a computer program.
So it's just a computer program. There's no actual artist. It is just someone who's typing a sentence.
But there is a team that is making the music
Okay.
for the AI.
Right. But there's no actual music being created.
But it's a unique voice. Like it's a unique voice that is not
But
referenced to a human. It's a completely new product.
It's a unique voice.
It's a unique voice, unique
Created.
product. They have their
But-
unique
but
face and
here's-
everything.
Here's the thing. It's the same way as when some people write music for other artists. You're saying that process
Yeah, that's
is
called ghostwriting.
happening, but that process is happening. It just happens to be the person who's singing it is not a person.
It's not even about that. It's a person. It's about copying the person's voice.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Plagiarizing it, if you like.
Plagiarizing.
Rising a voice.
Yes, that's the problem. It's when you're, for example, I'm using Michael Jackson's voice
Mm.
and then let it create original music, even though he never written those songs, he never sang those songs, or using their voice to complete unfinished work, which ruins the original art style, the original work that this artist have done. That's the
that'd be-
difference between
yeah.
a unique product that we have specifically designed to just be on its own versus copying a human being that is either dead or alive and then doing it my own way without their consent.
Here is a prediction for next year.
Here we go.
Analog things will make a comeback.
Okay. For
What
kids
kind
who are
of
more
analog?
analog?
How do you explain analog thing?
No, years
No, like,
one,
but,
zero, one, zero,
but
one.
in what way? Like, what way?
Okay, think about what you're saying about music. It can be tampered with. Digital streaming things, whatever. Like, I would even go further, say CDs, DVDs, vinyl records. They are making a comeback.
Yeah, in a big way.
In a very big way. Cassettes will make a comeback.
Ooh, controversial.
No, they are already.
For those who don't know what a cassette is, Google it. I get reminded of that video where the father gives a cassette to his daughter and she's like, what is this thing? How do you rewind with it? Like, how can you skip a song? They will make comebacks. Like,
Do you want to
Maybe
know?
this is like a stretch, but going back to like genuine film, like proper negatives in the camera industry, I would say. A lot
Films
of
are already making a comeback, by the way, since the pandemic. Like, I've seen a lot of filmmakers and a lot of photographers are now using film to practice their photography or use it. And biggest example, Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. We got a lot of other films that are still using film. It's
Yeah,
just,
IMAX cameras don't even use film,
it's
don't
like at it's now in a point where physical media, vinyl records, cassettes, CDs, DVDs, Blu-ray discs, film is now used for actual passionate people,
Oh
comparing
yeah,
to regular
definitely,
consumers.
definitely. But here's the thing: you talk about Christopher Nolan. Yes, he's one out of many. I would say, like he's James Cameron in a different position, where like James Cameron is all about the experience, and he wants to do something the way the experience has to be done. So Christopher Nolan would be the person who is a person who's passionate about film as well. So instead of going and using a digital, I would say, camera to record something, he kind of nitpicks. I mean, for God's sake, the dude prints his script on like black and red
they?
paper. For a person like that would be like, oh, I have to use like this grade of film from this manufacturer, or like that. He would have those like nitpick things, but in generality, like, think about it. How many of the newer movies that are being made use like old school filming techniques and splicing? You had a dude literally sit down somewhere and like
Yeah, dark and room.
slice
Yeah,
slice up reels of film until he got that perfect
edits.
edit.
Yeah, amazing.
But now it's just like behind the computer thing. There was a time where shadow frames was a thing. Like it gave it's very hard to kind of like pick up on, but it gives an edge to what you're looking at, because every like few hundred um, frames in a negative, they would throw in something that's completely like different, and you would get a certain effect, but you don't get that with digital media a lot. And a lot of movies now, they are all digital media. Think about things that are have CGI on them. You cannot CGI a negative film. It has to come into.
See, this is the problem with AI's models like this. They're just they're
But that's the thing. Like, think about the editing process, the filming process, green screens.
Yeah. It goes back to you said when soul comes into something.
Yeah,
A guy sitting in a room doing that editing with those yards
miles.
and
I would
yards
say
of
miles and miles
miles
of film.
of film, and he's pouring his soul into that, and it's absorbs the light and absorbs that.
Yeah,
Digital is just beep, 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 beep.
and
Yeah,
cross Control C, Control V.
that's yeah,
Enter.
that's cut and pasting.
Yeah,
I think it's okay to use digital media. Like, it's inevitable that digital media will be, and it's still gonna be, a superior and more efficient and convenient method for
I
regular consumers and corporations.
I would agree with you with regular and kind of what was the other two words you said? Superior,
Superior, convenient,
convenient,
and cheaper
cheaper.
methods.
You said I would perhaps agree with convenience and cheaper methods, but not superior. Like, think about amazing photographs. Um, there is a photograph of I think it's somewhere around like it's somewhere in Western Europe, where the guy spent months and months for a single shot, like staying in one place for months until you get a single shot. Or the
Of like
dude.
the bird or something like that.
No, it's a positioning of the moon with a certain like foreground and things like that, or the guy who gets the picture of that like lion who's about to go have a kill, and there is I don't know if it's a lion or a tiger, but there is a very intense photo of the moment of like lock on, I would call it. And how many days did that dude like lay down in a savannah for him to get that single shot? Whereas like I don't know, ones and zeros, enter, shift, delete, something like that, and you get a
Yeah.
photo. There is, and I agree, perhaps for life living and all that, etc., etc. AI would come into place and it will make life better or more convenient. Better, I use that term loosely. But art is soul. It's not ones and zeros. Whatever the art is, there must be some sort of soul behind it, or it's not just art. It's just material.
Like personally, I think art is a subject and usage, like consumer, like consuming something, is a whole another usage. So, so for example, like our podcast, where most of the stuff we're using is analog. Well, not really analog, like it's slightly
Hybrid.
digital. It's a hybrid, but we still depend on cables and wires
Yeah.
to depend on that because cables has the least no almost no lag and latency comparing to wireless equipment. So because Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connections are still not that great yet.
Mm.
They haven't reached to a level where they can rival analog and direct input connections.
Yeah.
But once we reach to a point where it's rival or even better, that will be a different situation. But yes,
I agree
art is
with you in
different.
regards of
Yeah.
that. I agree with you, but it can never overcome like that soul, so to speak. Um, think about like the reason Tommy Iommi plays the way he does on guitar with the solos, with the way he does, is because of all the shit he's been through. A person like I don't know Steve Vai, he has amazing solos, but that's years of experience of life, the things that he's been through, the like imagine, okay, a lot of people might not know this, but go search this song. There's a song called Tender Surrender. Now that song, I would say, even with the hundreds of years of advancement of technology and AI, it would never be able to play it, to either come up or play with like such a song, because that song is not just like these notes together. No, it's a mix of like God knows what type of drugs was in the system, the energy of the crowd. I don't know, the heartbreak the night before that he had for whatever reason, the weight of that guitar on his shoulders, like every single thing plays into what he is making in that time. Like if you go look, there is a live version of him playing it, and look at him, the way that he plays and kind of treats the guitar. You could see at certain points that he's not even on Earth anymore. He's in a completely different world. And a computer can't do that. No
No.
matter what advancement you make. Like, and as true as it is in music, for like this is an extreme example of it. But as true as it is in music, it's also true for film. It's also true for whatever form of art you can think of. Like you have Japan that has 24/7 pizza vending machines. And when I say pizza vending machines, like this is fresh pizza vending
Even
machines.
the UK, they now have pizza vending machines.
But
Awesome.
you cannot take away the art of what the dude comes in
A
like at
Neapolitan
4
Italian restaurant.
not necessarily Italian, because like it's
Or
a
someone
very
who's good at making
interesting
pizzas.
interesting, yeah, for somebody who's gonna make a pizza, because at the end of the day pizza is a pie. That's true. Pizza is a pie.
No, pizza's a bread.
And
We do not argue.
but here's the
with
thing,
that.
I have had the best Chinese food in Milan.
Wow.
That is as like, okay, there are similarities, but the person who made that food, he has a whole story behind him in that moment making that food. A baker who comes in like at 5 a.m. for him to start your pizza process that you're gonna have at 10 p.m. God knows what he has done in that morning for him to come with whatever mood he's gonna. So like, no matter how advanced technology gets, that's what I mean by you cannot mimic art, because what's the phrase? Life mimics art. Art mimics life.
Life imitates art.
Like-
Yeah, life imitates art, and that is life. But a computer, like a computer, would see a video of a person being dumped and say like, this person is feeling this, but they would never actually know. What's a great example to give? I don't know.
It's like if AI can create Billie Jeans, can copy Billie Jeans, but they can never create Billie Jeans.
Yes,
Nice.
yes, that's a very good example.
Yeah, like they can copy any song they want to copy, but they can never create that creativity, the idea, the concept,
The feeling
The
behind
the
story,
song, the message. They
Yeah.
can't, because they don't have humanity in them that we have. They don't
Yeah.
have hope and depression and sadness and joy of life that they have, because they were just programmed to do one task and it's done.
It's like saying,
Even if they get sentience, their sentience is based on what we program them to be.
Yeah.
So either they develop to reach to a point where they can reach this level, but they're still not gonna have that.
it's like saying, can an AI make or write rather a script or make a series like Band of Brothers? It's, even though it's a very dark thing about humanity, but you can't, because the people who are in that situation go through a complete psychological change in the period. Or Saving Private Ryan, and
Yeah.
a lot of, there is like, as much as the story is a generality of a story, but there's a lot of those niche details that only a person that's been through war would kind of like get it right or
Yeah.
know about it.
Subtleties and
The subtleties,
yeah.
what
yeah, human memory is different from a computer memory.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it goes like, there was one of those stuntmen of like a big name person, where they were doing an interview with him, and he was like, no, when you get shot, your body kind of does this before it falls in this way, or like there is, so a computer wouldn't get into the nuance of those little details where it would make it real versus artificially.
Or humans wouldn't develop or program it to behave in these nuances.
Yeah, because they think
Yeah, you
about the
can't program that,
generality.
can you?
Yeah, because they either they do the bare bones, or just what is works. Whereas comparing to human, they have their own psychology, behavior. Like there is a whole body behavior
Yeah.
that is either it's very time consuming, very costly, or if a human or a corporation does this, it's most likely going to be patented.
Yeah.
So that they can make money off of it. And speaking of, so I think we discovered all of the stuff.
Yeah, should we make some predictions?
Yeah.
Next
So yeah, I think we predicted about regulations,
Yeah.
AI regulations, and all of that. And so
I'm gonna predict cassettes are gonna make a
Wha-
comeback.
That sounds big prediction.
What's gonna come back?
Cassettes will come make a comeback.
They're already making a comeback. Maybe not here, because I don't know who uses cassette here, but they are making a comeback. Oh yeah, in Virgin Megastore they do sell actually.
Cassettes.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
refuse
They do, they
do.
to believe.
Yeah, but like modern albums, yeah. Like some modern albums, they do sell them.
I mean,
in
Virgin Megastore is
cassettes.
full of vinyl, which is just awesome to see. But cassettes,
Like
And CDs.
CDs,
These
it's
are
CDs.
okay.
Like CDs are okay. It's
Yeah.
like a silver lining between the old world and
That's
the
the
new
old
world.
world.
But cassettes, they are completely.
that
like,
sells a cassette player.
Yeah,
We
like-
still mix cassette
No,
player.
like
I'm not
you,
saying
you
you're a
gotta
liar.
understand, like these technologies, or cassettes, or CD, vinyl, floppy disk, or mini disc, or any of these form of media, like it's only for passionate people.
Oh
Or
yeah.
it's only for
Yeah,
people
true.
who wanna feel some type of way. They wanna use it in a specific way, you know. Or there are I've seen albums that have been released through Game Boy cartridges.
Interesting.
Yes, they used Game Boy cartridges to release
Oh, cute.
their albums. Independent artists using it, and a lot of artists they released. Oh yeah, one Ortrix Point Never. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of
No.
him. But he's the guy who essentially created vaporwave, and one of the albums it's called Echo Jam. That album only released in cassette,
Okay.
and that album was released in 2011 to 2012.
See, but that was still like cassette time. You could still walk into a store and buy a
Yeah.
stereo that had cassette capabilities.
No, at that time it was full CDs.
No,
2012.
but you could still like walk into a store and buy something that had possibly a cassette. Like yes, it was
Possibly,
the age
but
of.
yeah.
But like where would you walk and buy
I wouldn't know where to start.
like where to start? Yeah, like
And
the
the thing,
best.
why would I need to buy a cassette? I think last time I bought physical media was last millennium. To be honest.
Yeah,
That's-
because well, like I said, like consumers are more. It's more just basic consumers who are more inclined
Oh yeah.
to use convenient methods
Yeah.
that fits
Like
on
if I
their
was to
own.
Listen to a song, I'd go on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you wouldn't go to your CD player and then you would play that
I
one
put it
specific
on
song.
and turn it on, switch it on, and forward. Nah.
No,
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, it's exhausting.
that would be fun though.
It would be nostalgia.
Oh, it was a weekend like the doing mixtapes. It was a whole
Oh, yeah.
weekend project. Like you sat home just for a few hours
Yeah,
just to make a tape that you could take to your car and listen
Yeah.
to while you drive.
Burning CD.
I remember when we would travel, like take car trips. I burned my entire playlist into like a CD, and then we were just like playing it for fun. Like I just did it for because we just had, like I think I somehow found CDs just lying, empty CDs just lying around, and I just burned it to my I put my entire playlist into it.
Yeah, you felt like you're master of this
Yeah,
technology.
it felt like you're doing something.
like a
and,
producer
like, yeah.
here. Whoa, I should sell these.
And yeah, you would. There is more thought and care to it comparing to you listen to a song on on a streaming service like Apple Music and Spotify, and then you
Mm.
just add it to a playlist.
Yeah, done.
And I think one of the other methods that is kind of giving the same passion, I think it's piracy. Sure, yeah, it's unethical economically and morally.
Yeah.
However, because what you're essentially doing is you're picking what you want to listen, what do you want to download, and you consume it. You get what I mean in a
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
that way?
Yeah, yeah.
Where in comparison, you're essentially paying $9.99 or $15.99 a month to a service, and then whatever is there is there.
And having them pull the movie 2 months later.
Or getting
after-
geo-locked.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's these things like this
This
that
is why,
ruins
ladies
the
and gentlemen,
passion.
you should support piracy because we need a lot more seeders, leechers, please.
Do you even see it, Massam?
Yes. I
Okay,
have a
good job.
thing. I have a thing where when I download, like, it's my thank you to the community. Where if I download something, I seed it for a whole day, like until the next day. I let it seed.
What a guy.
Just today?
Huh?
Just today?
Just a day.
Bro, I see it all the time.
No, man. I download in like 15 minutes, so like that's the highest you can get. I download in 15 minutes and you get a day.
Like, it's not get cancelled.
Wow,
I-
that is greedy, man. That is greedy, man.
So, hey, I'm pirating. What did like?
Support your pirates, man.
Can I do the
Or-
box office top
Then
10
what's
to
the
support
point?
local cinema?
Yeah, we can get to your box. We can get to box office.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I believe you're gonna cover it.
Cool.
Okay, speaking before you actually is going, what is one thing? Here is an interesting question.
Go.
Y'all can participate too and send us your answers.
Yeah, comments, please.
To the 5 people in the chat, please respond.
What would let's say you're walking into a cinema and you get a snack of choice, whatever it may be. You're not restricted.
Got it.
What would you like to have when going in and watching movies?
What does the cinema generally offer, or anything that? I
No,
want?
anything. Like there are a lot of things where when I go to watch a movie in a cinema, I would like to like munch or something or eat something, but it's not available in the cinema canteen.
I
so
want a
to speak.
whole dinner.
You want it full.
Like you know when you go to a theater, in Vox Cinema or Novo 7 Stars, and you get an entire menu. Like I think people can just already take their food and go into the cinema.
So an
already.
a la carte proper
Yeah, like
3-course meal.
yeah,
Restaurant cinema hybrid.
Nice.
yeah,
Okay.
like which they're already offering, which like I think like it's a really great service. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like and even in I think in Vox Cinema they would have like a seasonal menu. So
Extra mile.
you would be excited to, try something new. And yeah, I went there for the Garfield movie.
All great.
And I was the only one.
Yeah. Private
It was
screening.
so much
It
fun.
was- okay.
I'm traditional popcorn guy.
So you guys have what you got?
Old school.
Old school.
So, okay, tell us. Which was the best place you had popcorn in?
Where I used to
It
work.
can be anywhere around the world.
Yeah, the best place was the place I worked. I worked in Odeon Cinema, Uxbridge, the Chime Shopping Centre, London. And what we used to do, we knew to make popcorn best. You were told when you made the popcorn machine, you had the popcorn thing, it had one pump of oil. But we found if you do 3 pumps of oil, the popcorn was incredible. And straight out of the, we'd all just load up ourselves and just munch and munch and munch. And that was the best popcorn. Yeah, because we made it ourselves.
Yeah.
And we knew to keep indulgent with
Because it was made by you. That's why it's good.
But our soul was in
But
the
everybody
popcorn.
else is
Yeah.
not good.
Hey, making popcorn is an art.
Oh
Making
man,
pop-
you could go
Um,
so wrong so quickly.
Cooking
Man.
anything is an art.
It is. It is an art, and I would I would agree on this. A lot of theaters which are privately owned, like say for example they have like a 2 theaters or 3 theaters maximum. They generally have a higher standard of popcorn and like
Mhm.
drinks and things like that because they're not commercialized. They
Yeah.
are still running a business. Like, but with these chains, I would say not so much.
Yeah, they come in the bags,
And
not even made on premises. Oh,
Yes.
come on, people. Come on, people. Yeah.
But enough about people. Box office matters
Box
more.
office. Okay. At number 1, unsurprisingly, we've got Furiosa. Have you guys seen this?
Nope.
Okay, it is very, very decent. I really enjoyed Mad Max the original. This one, there's something missing. I don't know what it is. George Miller, director, great guy, pours again his soul into these movies. It's disappointing box office turnout. I think people just aren't into the franchise as much as people thought. But go and see it. Go and see an IMAX if you can. George Miller, he's described he likes silent movies with sound, and he likes making chairs rumble. And this movie definitely does that. So go
And
see it.
I don't. I think what ticks me off is how Chris Hemsworth look like Thor
But it's prosthetic
Yeah,
nose.
no, I think it's
He has
because
a lot
he
of
still
fun in
has
this
the
movie.
same hair, the same cape, the same body from
Oh,
Thor. That it just feels like
not enough of an attachment.
it feels like it feels like Thor just went to an alternate reality where he's not a god, he's just living in a sand with a girl named Furiosa.
Mm, maybe.
Or like I don't know, that's what it seems like to
Yeah,
me.
fair
But I
enough.
think he's like the villain in the movie.
He's the bad guy, yeah. So
So
he's
yeah, it's
gets
just
kidnapped as a child, is brought to him to do
It's
with
a
his
prequel to
prequel
what
indeed. Yeah. So Anya Taylor Joy is playing the younger version of Charlize Theron.
okay.
Yeah. So it's her
Yeah,
journey
so-
towards where she met Matt.
yeah, I think that's what takes me off, but I still want to watch it.
Yeah.
Because the press release is weird.
Yeah.
Where Anya Taylor
Joy.
would refuse to speak about the movie. She like literally said, "Speak to me in 20 years."
Drama.
And apparently, like anyone who worked in Mad Max, like they just had the weirdest experience
Yeah, the first one for
filming the movie.
sure. Yeah, 'cause they would just drive for days.
Yeah,
No,
especially
no,
with how
days, no.
Tom. Apparently, they said like Tom Brady was like one of the worst people they worked with.
Oh, yeah, because her, the first one, Tom Hardy and Charlize did not get on at all.
So yeah, like. But I definitely need to watch it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
go see it.
Mad Max is like such a beautiful world.
It
and
is.
really
That was
awesome.
art.
Even the video game was incredible as well.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I really need to revisit the game and play it again. But yeah, number 2.
Number 2 is Turbo, which is a Malaysian movie. 3, Garfield. I went to the.
Deserve.
Yeah,
Should have gotten second.
really? Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I went to the premiere. Thank you, Fox Cinema. I went with my little boy. We both had a great time. I've loved Garfield since I can remember. There was a cartoon show in the West called Garfield and Friends. It was the ultimate after school for us, a Saturday morning cartoon. It was superb. Everyone knew Garfield was. This isn't that Garfield, but this is
A Garfield.
a Garfield. This is my son's Garfield now, and that makes me happy. He had a
Yeah.
great time. I enjoyed him enjoying it. I miss my Garfield, but I'm happy that it's now past the next generation.
Our Garfield was in those like cut clips and newspapers.
Yeah,
Back
and they were
then.
great. They were so perfect. There were three
Three
panels.
panels,
It was
yeah.
just premise, setup, punchline. Oh, that was good. Next, angry, and the cartoon.
Like
match.
yeah, like I think even me now as an adult, every day and day I relate to Garfield more and more.
Oh yes.
I every day I just like lasagna more, and then I hate Sundays. Where I mean, he hates Mondays, but in here we start working on Sunday.
Sundays,
Yeah.
So like I just hate Sundays. So like it reached to the point where I think Garfield is my spirit animal.
Yeah, a lot
A lot of
people.
us.
It's every adult's, every modern day's adults, every Gen Z's
I mean,
spirit
like,
animal. Late
who would not
millennials,
want
early
to
Gen
see
Z spirit animal.
Sleep
That's
and
Garfield.
lasagna
Yeah.
on a daily basis.
Garfield is us, and us is Garfield.
Garfield. Yeah.
We
So
have-
hopefully it stays in the top 10 for a long time.
Yeah. Number 3, 4.
Number 4, Kingdom Planet of the Apes. We talked heavily about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
We
Yes.
enjoyed that. Devoted a whole show to its legacy. Go and see that also. 5 is If. Yeah, it's doing okay in the box office. I still haven't seen it because I'm not really interested. But number 6. Oh, do you want to try and pronounce that one?
Which
Major
movie?
movie. I don't even want to try.
Okay.
7, Abigail. Decent horror movie. I think it's new this week over here. I haven't seen it in previous top 10s. But it's a decent horror movie.
Yeah, I
short
think
if
it's
you want.
recent. Yeah.
Yeah,
Decent.
decent.
That's a
Jump scare.
very-
Jump scare.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 8, El Serb is an Arabic movie. Number 9, The Fall Guy, which has got some bad press because
The one with Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, of course. Yeah. Still hanging in the top 10 across the world. Just wasn't making as much as the studios hoped. I think it's because they placed too much. I don't know, fake expectations on Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling as a leading man. I feel he works best playing off someone who is of equal or higher caliber than he. If you look back at the movies he's done, The Nice Guys, he was with Russell Crowe,
Harrison
Harrison
Ford,
Ford
Blade
in
Runner.
Blade Runner. This is with Emily Blunt. Okay, but Emily Blunt is still not a leading lady, where studios think she is.
Oh,
I
no,
think she's
it's-
great, but she doesn't really carry a movie yet. So to put those two together, it's a Netflix movie. It's a disposable,
Well,
watch on
yeah.
a Saturday afternoon in the background while you're doing the dishes.
No, which one is it?
That-
The Fall Guy.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is a very low blow. But
Yeah, but
Or maybe it's like a
good.
movie
It's
you would
not
see on TikTok while playing a Subway Surfers
there.
montage.
That's the one.
Mm.
And 10, Godzilla Kong still hanging in there, doing
Nice,
great
nice.
business. Yeah, so
I mean, Dune is now not in the box office
Dune's falling
anymore.
off. Yeah, so and you and I talked about this pre-record. Don't know if you've seen some of the movies coming out this week are very grim. We won't even go into them, but Jean-Claude Van Damme's in one, and that tells you the state of this week. So I think the studios are giving lots of room to breathe to Garfield, Furious, and Still Apes.
I was also seeing Russell Crowe is also back for with another movie as well.
Yeah, he'll be coming back soon. He's looking his age, but yeah. That's the box office top 10. Still interesting, still exciting. Summer still needs to ignite a little bit.
And yeah, speaking of new releases,
Yeah.
I luckily got the list on my hand, so prepare to be disappointed, ladies and
Indeed.
gentlemen.
Don't raise your hopes.
So first of all is a movie named Cat and Dog. It's a movie about cat and dog. Like I don't know, like it's kind of like a chase pursuit kind of movie where they run away and then
Cheers.
I would
the
love
owners
a
are
movie.
looking for them and
See,
then
I
one
would
of
love a
them
movie of Cat Dog. Was it called?
cat.
Cat Dog. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
The one with Kevin Hart, right?
No. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon that's cat dog. Like half of the animal is a cat and the other half is a dog.
Oh, the Nickelodeon show.
Yes.
Yes, I know that one. Yeah, but it's not like that. It's like a different thing. But like one of the characters look like a ripoff of Amy Winehouse. Do you
Oh
guys-
dear.
Like they extremely resemble Amy Winehouse. Like that's what from what it looked like, from what it looks to me in the poster. But yeah, it seems fine. Even like the faces of the dog and the cat even look weird as well. So I don't know, man.
Not
I'm
much
not gonna watch
investment in
it.
the promo.
And secondly, the movie that you've been telling me about it before rolling the episode is Darkness of Man by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, you hadn't heard of him before. That surprised
Well,
me.
Yeah, I mean, you told me about it. Like the guy is from the '80s, something
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
one of those 80s stars. You place him along with, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Seagal. He was in Expendables 2, of course. His character was called Villain. So,
It was that action figure.
he was muscles from Brussels.
Yeah.
Also did steroids. He was a bit of European flavour to Sly's Americana.
So yeah, so he's a millennial icon, but not a Gen
Famous
Z.
for doing splits.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also,
the
I've
that
That's
famous
a great
Volvo commercial. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just go to YouTube that if you haven't seen it, it is. But
That's a moment in history, gentlemen. It is.
and also speaking of him, like when I looked him up, and the guy was in the Street Fighter movie, the live action one.
yeah, it's Guile.
He
Yeah.
played as Guile, and boy, he was ripped.
Yeah.
Like bro looked exactly like Guile. Like, where's that muscle? I don't see it in the poster.
Yeah, it's too toll on him.
Yeah.
He's had work done, and
Yeah.
Well,
Well, speaking
not sure
of
if I'm gonna watch
movies,
it, but
Don't rest.
speaking of movies to come, Bad Boys 4.
Yeah.
coming this week.
I think it comes.
I mean, not in
June,
cinema, not that I
first week
see.
of June. I
Yeah, there's still loads of movies still to come. Lots of them are fours. Like Beverly Hills Cop 4. It's on Netflix coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one I think you guys mentioned about it. Russell Crowe, Sleeping Dog.
A lot of dogs coming out these.
Sleeping Dogs
Okay.
by the actor Russell Crowe. Yeah, that one's coming tomorrow. We told you about this one. Detective Conan, the $1
Oh,
Million,
again.
coming tomorrow.
Again,
No, that's a new Detective Conan movie.
but I saw it being played like 2 weeks ago, kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
'Cause I swear it tells me it's coming tomorrow.
Interesting.
Okay, but maybe it's a
Maybe it's the
mishap
numbers.
from the website itself. Indian movie.
I'm curious,
Horror-
who's the director for the new Russell Crowe movie?
Uh,
'Cause
okay, there's a horror movie called Possessions.
Another one called Tarot. Is that right? By the
Tarot.
cards. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Visions, Alien.
Chief of Station by Aaron Eckhart,
Bless him.
Alan Pettifer. I'm not sure who these people are. Egyptian movie. We got Asphalt City by Sean Penn and Ty Sheridan. I'm not
Okay.
sure if you guys. Okay.
Oh, Champagne.
I know their faces. I clearly recognize their faces, but I
Yeah,
don't.
Champagne has had a hit in about a decade. Yeah.
And another movie by Robert De Niro, called Ezra.
Paycheck
Not,
movie.
I think it's like a drama movie.
definitely.
Sleepwalking through that probably.
Yeah, like something you would sleep while it's playing.
The dishes.
Engineer-wise acting.
yeah. And let me look.
A lot of them, like, they have made a name for themselves, and it's just a paycheck, as you said.
Yeah, of course.
A paycheck
Nothing
movie.
wrong with that. He's still doing the work.
And last but not least
Or will it?
is a horror movie titled Goldilocks and the Three
Oh,
Bears.
this-
Death and
It was one of the things that I actually wanted to comment on.
Is this following the Winnie the Pooh?
I kind of got that feeling where they kind of are revisiting the Brothers Grimm book.
Yeah, let's take everything that's
Yeah.
in public domain and.
Oh wait, no, that's the story of the girl in the Three Bears, where she would
Goldilocks.
enter the house and
Yeah,
Cold
and,
soup.
the original story is very grim. It's not like dandy pandy with where Disney
not as
made
fun
it
as
to
we thought it
seem-
was.
Yeah, like shit goes wrong with bears.
That's the tagline. It's on the poster.
So you're telling me I need to side with a human other than a bear?
No, like the story itself is completely different from what Disney has taught us.
It's not even Disney. I think it's
Was
what
it?
children's books have
Just a
taught
fairy
us.
tale universe.
Fairy
right?
tale, yeah,
Yeah,
the fairy
yeah,
tale
yeah.
kind of, because that story goes back to Brothers Grimm, like the German version of Brothers Grimm's book.
Yeah.
So that is one of the things I'm kind of like stoked
I'll
to
check
go
out
see.
the original story then.
Okay. Because like speaking of like bears and women and stuff, there has been latest.
Context,
Where's
please.
this going?
Yo.
I'm giving the context. There's a
Bears,
recent
women,
trend in social media where men would or people would ask women, "What would you pick, a man or if you're stranded in the forest, who would rather encounter, a man or a bear?"
Oh, and a lot of them.
And
said
then
bears.
everyone pick the bear
Oh.
because like women are just like afraid of men.
Man, yeah.
So like
It's become a man hating rather than man fearing, but
so I'm glad to see
a reminder.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I want to see which do they pick, But yeah, that's pretty much all interesting new releases that I think people would want to watch.
There's the audience
Or
for
if you're
everything, for
bored, you're
sure.
having a boring weekend, at least we laid out to you the options.
Mhm.
Or if you want to watch in your comfort of your home, feel free to do so. But thank you guys for being Qatartained. I hope you guys had fun with us. Sam, we will miss this set.
Oh, sure.
Thank you for hosting us for the past 3 weeks.
Oh, I will miss you guys as well.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Sengoku's coming back next week. So we will have more, Sengoku's antics.
His intros.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, this will be the end of us, being us.
Us crazy kids.
Yeah. Being
Boss
wild
man
and
is
free.
coming back.
So yeah, guys, subscribe, follow, donate, buy our merch. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for engaging with us, watching everything with us. And this is Qatartainment. And enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.